Hit record and we'll crank into it. Okay then,
Right.
hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crannk, and today I'm having a chat with Bianca, who's guitarist and vocalist for Chelsea Manor, who have really hit the scene pretty hard. They've just been nominated in the People's Choice category of the punk section of the upcoming South Australian Music Awards. Their recent singles, Breathe, Lotion and Shaken, has been very well received. It's very cool to get to chat to you, Bianca. So cheers for making some time to have a chat with myself and Crannk.
Yeah, no worries at all. Thank you heaps for having me.
Yeah, cool. I know our punk editor will be very stoked that I'm getting a chance to cover some punk. I've covered a whole lot of punk and metal and not done as many punk interviews. And with the recent nod at the South Australian Music Awards, it's good to kind of chat with you and look at what you guys got going on, because have kind of heard of you through Triple J Unearthed, which is where I think I'd heard of you first, Chelsea Manor. So when the name come across, I had heard of you as well. So.
Oh, that's all right. I think we're doing something right.
Yeah, that's it. So can you tell me a little bit about, for the people who don't know, who Chelsea Manor are, kind of how did you form and when?
Yeah, so all three of us, myself, Michael and Ivan, Michael was our drummer and backup vocalist, and Ivan's the bass player. All three of us were actually in a band prior called the Skategoats, which was a bit of a pop-punk sort of thing happening. That sort of fizzled out, and the three of us really wanted to continue. So we sort of got together and were just writing and sort of, I don't know, pretty lazy about it, to be honest. And then Triple J announced that their one night stand was going to be at Lucindale that year, which is not very far from us. We're from Mount Gambier. So, yeah, that got announced, and we were like, shit, we don't have any songs or really anything we can do. Let's put something together. So we rushed to Michael's dad's house out at Yule, which is like 5 minutes out of Mount Gambier. Basically, completely renovated his lounge room, set up everything, wrote this song, recorded it. It was pretty shit, to be honest. It was a little bit out of key, and just like I just wanted to get the vocals done. I was super uncomfortable, but we just got it done. And for some reason, we won.
Yep.
That ended up being our first ever gig as Chelsea Manor. So we only really started in September 2019, so last year. And then obviously we cranked out a fair bit of gigs before the end of the year, and then this year happened, and that's been a bit of a hit and miss. So
yep.
A bit of a background.
So I've seen somewhere in the works that she's just working on an EP as well. So can you tell me, these singles, I dare say the singles Breathe, Lotion and Shaken will be on that, but they would have all been recorded, I suppose, at the same time you had probably done the EP.
Yeah, no, they were back. I can't even remember if we did that late 2019 or really early in January, because we actually recorded Breathe a week prior to One Night Stand. And so it was like, that was the fastest turnaround I reckon the Alamo's ever had, with Forrester Savell coming in to mix it. Lucky he was in the country at the time, and it was all just everything lined up just to sort of get it out the day before One Night Stand. So that was wicked. And then, we ended up travelling back a month or two later to finish off the EP.
Yeah.
And all three singles are from that. And there's a couple more on there, and probably a couple extra that we're working on now during this sort of time. I mean, it was supposed to be this year that it got released, and it probably maybe still will be, but I don't know. It's just a bit hit and miss at the moment, I guess.
Yeah, it's whether who you're releasing it with, I suppose, too, wants to go, okay, and we're still going to put this album out, or the way with the current climate and the way things are, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we're always one to adapt and stuff like that, but our live shows are a massive part of it. I mean, like the energy in it, and just being able to perform the songs live along with the release of them is just something that we like to do, and it's just a different feeling for us. So we're just waiting to see how things go, but SA's been pretty okay.
Yep.
We've had live music back for a little while now, seated, of course, but I think some of those changes are coming in at this stage. So, I mean, it's still probably going to happen, but it's just, yeah, if and when.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Chris from Hidden Intent yesterday, and he was talking about the show they had at Metal at the Enigma Bar, and he said it was different having everyone seated and that, and he was thinking of ways to get the crowd. He got a Mexican wave going, and he said it was actually really cool. He was thinking it was going to be not as good as it was, and he said it was good just to get up on stage and kind of have that little bit of crowd interaction as well.
Yeah, it was. It was wicked. We were lucky enough. We had a show at the Bridgeway back in October, which was a mini fest with a bunch of bands. So that was wicked. And same thing, yeah, everyone was seated, but decent numbers. And you didn't have that, I don't know, that crazy, I suppose, mosh energy, but it was just a different feel. And yeah, the interaction was still there. And you could still, towards the end, I mean, in SA, we just had that rule come in that day about you could stand and dance at weddings and stuff like that for private events. So towards the very end, you know, some of the kids were running towards the front and they had a sit-down mosh where they all sat apart and they all rode together, and you just had these like different, I don't know, yeah, like you said, you sort of have to think outside the square and stuff like that, and so you get these really cool moments that you maybe wouldn't have had before.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and
it's really cool.
And being from Mount Gambier, he's got cross dismembered from down there, Jack, and then he's got Frostfile and Wounded Pig. There's some good metal bands, so it's good to hear some punk coming out of that way as well.
Yeah, well, Ivan actually plays in Frostvale for Jack.
Yeah.
And Michael works for Jack at the music store, of course, and Jack's just a legend. He's been, aside us since the beginning. We're friends with him forever, and I met him, when I started out in bands down there, and he's just a good kid. He's a legend. Yeah,
the music community is very tight in South Australia. They all kind of lift each other up and support each other, and there's 12 degrees of separation with bands. Everyone's kind of connected along the line in the South Australian music scene, that is for sure, eh?
It is crazy. Yeah, and like with Mount Gambier, there's so many bands. I suppose there's not really much for us to do as you get into that higher age bracket, I suppose. So there's just, and there's a really good music teachers and stuff there that encourage, and there's just, there's bands popping up all the time.
And that's really good for growing up in a regional area as well, having that music to focus on as well, because there's not as much to do. I grew up in the country, still live in the country, and there's not as much for the youth to do as well. So, you know, I know punk and metal cop a bad rap, but it's so positive that you're able to create music and not go and run around and play up on the streets like a lot of these other kids. Music does really focus you a lot as well.
Yeah, that's it. It puts a lot of that energy that you'd have out there into something else, and it's just you can get a lot out that way.
Yeah. So what was it like getting this nomination?
It's a good thing.
I was going to chat about this nomination.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And it's people's choice, so it's kind of everyone.
Weird to think people like us.
Yeah. You know, he's got these 3 singles, and it's good to see. And I seen Collateral Damage is up over there. He's got a few over there: Bitch Spawn, The Lizards, Wing Defense. So it's a nice little category to be sitting in there just alone.
I know, it's crazy. They're all great bands, all few that we've played with before, and like you said, Collateral Damage, young dudes sound fucking awesome. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear or not.
No, you can swear. We can fucking swear. We're independent. Yeah, I've had a chat with the Collateral Damage lads a couple of times. They're cool lads. I think Dylan or one of the lads may have just finished year 12 as well.
Yes, he did, I reckon.
Yeah. So, have you got plans on when the EP's like roughly? I suppose you can't say at the moment, so just wait and see for that, eh?
Yeah, well, we're actually in the works at the moment on a new music video and stuff, and it's just sort of working out that thing of it was supposed to be an EP, but whether we're just going to single it out, because we've obviously been writing heaps more and we've got all this new stuff it feels like so much time's passed, to be honest, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah. Could be an album by the time this is finished.
Now it's like, yeah, that's it. So, but we are we'll have probably a new track out within a month and a half. But yeah, it's just on the music video, just working on that at the moment. And yeah, just the cover art and just getting everything together. And then, just sort of working out the plan. Because like I said, we've been writing a fair bit and we've got a fair bit on our plate sort of moving forward. So it's just deciding what we want to do and where we want to push it. So
yep. Can we talk about that? I want to ask about that video. Is it the VR video? It's done kind of in conjunction with the city of Mount Gambier. Can you tell me a little bit about that? I only briefly kind of seen that, and I just wanted to ask a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, that was wicked. That was so they approached us saying they had this technology that they wanted to use. I'm shit with technology, so I had no fucking idea what they were talking about. And they were like, I've got this stuff, like, do you want to come in? It's basically going to be a VR film clip. We'll run you through it. And I was like, yes. Like, we love being guinea pigs for anything. So we were just like, yep, 100% in. And so what they did is we went to this old building, the old Maloney's building in Mount Gambier, and we just played live, and they just filmed as much as they could there. And so what they did from there is they have this thing, I don't even know how to pronounce it. I think it's like an Oculus Rift. Yeah. And basically in this program, Tilt Brush, they painted everything, like the chairs, the tables. They basically paint the room around you. Wow. And they wanted to merge our live performance with the painted stuff, and they were like, how can we do it? So they end up going with like frame approaches and putting us on walls and stuff as you went through this sort of creepy house.
Wow.
It was like a massive project for them, and they were just learning. So it was pretty much, we don't know what it's going to come out like, but just trust us and we'll do something for you. And it was for what they've done and how much work was put into it. And yeah, like I said, hand painting half of that stuff. It's incredible.
Yeah, the amount of hours that would have gone into that is crazy. People don't realise the amount of hours that goes behind the scenes into something like that.
Yeah, and getting to do something like that, like I don't like chucking money and stuff into it, but like we got to do it for free from our point of view.
Yep.
And it was just to be in, like, we probably never would have got an opportunity to do something like that, at least not soon. For that kind of money, with that kind of effort and that kind of love for it too. And because they're learning, they just want to explore different options, and it was really cool. We had plans, but they obviously change as you go along, and it's just with what they came out with there, I was really impressed. And they actually did it in their spare time.
Yep.
So amongst their usual work hours too, which was incredible.
So who was behind all that? Who can we plug for that?
So that was they just changed their bloody name. It's the Art and Riddoch Cultural Centre, I believe it is now called.
Yep.
Or the Riddoch Arts and Cultural Centre.
I'll find the link and put dates as well.
It's really, really cool. So Tally, Daniel Pearson, Mel, and my God, I can't even remember his name, and it's going to kill me because it's like so unusual that you just remember it instantly. That's going to annoy the shit out of me.
That's all good. It's good to have that support though of these places as well, because you are going to be on the way up for sure, and they kind of know where it's at as well. I think let's get Chelsea Manor into this now before
I'm glad someone. Yeah, I'm like, it's really cool. It's like, and even with the nomination, I mean, People's Choice means like actual people voted for us, which is crazy, crazy to think about. Like, you get obviously Triple J's sort of competitions, like peer based, I guess, like they choose in amongst their hierarchy and stuff like that. But with this, it was like general public, which is an awesome feeling, actually.
Yeah, it is, and I look forward to kind of where it leads for you all, Chelsea Manor, whether you get the nod or not. I can see you've got a big future on the cards there. Just keep chipping away at it, Bianca. This has been an absolutely great chat. Good luck either way, which it goes on the third there. Before we sign out, do you have any last words, shout-outs or thank yous you want to quickly add in there?
Oh, just thank you to you for having us on here, and it's awesome that you we could be a part of this, so that's really it.
Absolute pleasure, Bianca. Chelsea Manor, everyone go check them out. Get the singles, turn it up really loud, because I always say the neighbours are going to want to hear it as well. Bianca, thank you very much for making some time to have a chat with myself and Crannk. You have a lovely day.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you.